Speaking of the bloodline stuff, before we actually go into the Money in the Bank qualifiers, I wanted to talk to you about the debut of Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
How'd you feel about that?
The Jacob Fatu debut, contrary to many folks, I think that his debut, we're kind of leading into the territory where people were concerned about. Solo needs to do something to differentiate himself from the other members of his new Bloodline, the Bloodline 2.0. Jacob Fatu, I love what he's done on just this one day. This is how you instantly make an impact, make people care about who someone is. He came in there and he was an absolute wild man. Like, people thought that Tama Tonga was wild. They thought that Solo was wild, but no, you saw him. I think it was Corey Graves or one of the commentators. They said this is the one that the other family members they try to leave alone.
This is the family member the sane ones want nothing to do with.
And he just looked absolutely deranged. But the point that I'm making about his debut is that when you see him, it becomes very apparent with this new bloodline that there are essentially four of the same character, four different variations of the same character. But I would say if I had to rank them in order of who I would not want to get on their bad side, I would say Tongaloa. He probably could reason with him. He doesn't seem like he does anything by himself. Then you have Solo. Then you have Tama Tonga. Now you have Jacob Fatu. It's just absolute. They call him the Samoan werewolf for a reason. And just going back and watching in preparation for this, I knew he had signed, but just seeing some of his work on the independent scene and in different promotions, he can do things that no other person can do in terms of just. He's also he's lost some weight too. He looks like he's in great shape. But even when he was larger, the way he would do the double springboard moonsaults and things of that nature, and then the power moves, like he's very agile, very strong. It's pretty much like this family they have a lab, and they're just building these perfect wrestlers. Some of them are much better than the others. Don't get me wrong. Like Jacob is much better than, let's say, like Solo. He just is. Solo's good, but Jacob's that much better, and that's a problem that WWE needs to address when it comes to this new bloodline. I just thought that it was really. I hate when the announcers they act really dumbfounded when somebody else debuts. It's like, who's that?
Who is it? The rumors are true! Oh. You know who that is!
You know who the hell that is. And he's like, okay, well, the rumors are true, and they move on to his Jacob Fatu. And I think it's very interesting. His name, Jacob, is a very tame name when it comes to who he actually is. Like, you don't expect somebody named Jacob to be bat crazy like Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. Excuse me, that's Tama Tonga. But a wild man and just absolutely off the wall. And this is how you debut somebody, make somebody instantly care. Of course, he had the new wrestler buff, where when somebody debuts, they have the strength of 3 men, and he was able to take out not only Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, all by himself.
I just don't understand. Okay, Solo's in the corner with 3 people in front of him, and he starts laughing as if he has them at the upper hand. No, you do not.
He did.
No, you did not. You had one person coming in.
He had his cousin Jacob.
No upper hand. He had no upper hand. It does not matter. He had no upper hand. There was no reason for him to laugh.
I'm just saying, when Jacob came in there and started kicking folks, and then
you said, he got a power up. He had a power up that allowed him to do that.
He had the Super Mario Golden Star. Because they could not touch him. And I think it made for me it made sense with the beatdown angle because the order of the folks that he got. So he dropped Orton. Orton had already been in the match earlier that night. Then he was probably the biggest threat. Then he got Kevin Owens, who was already hobbling, and then he got Cody. And like I said, this was just a super effective beatdown. My favorite part was the Samoan drop on the steps. And as soon as I saw that, I said, yeah, that's Kevin Owens' idea. Because Kevin Owens is a crazy MFer. And when it comes to putting his body on the line and just doing insane stuff, I know they were in the back thinking about, how can we make him look like a credible threat, and what could we do that's really cool tonight? And Kevin was like, yep, Samoan dropped me on the steps. I said, Kevin, isn't that gonna hurt? Yep, let's do it anyway.
I'll volunteer.
And it was super effective. And just seeing his presentation, he looks like an absolute star. I just hope that they address the presentation when it comes to the other members of the bloodline and make them some sort of have some sort of differentiation, because this is exactly what they were afraid of, and it's happening, and I'm enjoying it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I didn't really have much to say about the actual debut, but my only question is, how is he any different from Tama Tonga as far as like the deranged craziness? Like, are we gonna see him crawling the next time we see him? Or are we gonna see him babbling like the next time we see him? Like, what are we gonna see? And you talking about like, I was gonna joke and be like, yeah, the difference between him and Solo wears a suit now. That's just a thing now. He has
Yeah,
a he wears a glove now. That's the thing. That's the difference. But that's really my only thing. Like what you was talking about, just how different are they gonna make each character, and
they
is
have to
each
address
character
it.
gonna be each character gonna be compelling? Like because Tamaloa, right? Tangaloa.
The
That's his name.
fact that you have trouble saying his name says all you need to say.
Tangaloa, you're right. He hasn't been that much interesting. Tamatanga, he's just like, okay, what are you doing? It's like a Tasmanian devil. I compared him to that already. And, but I mean, I see what they're trying to do, just to have another civil war between the bloodline and for Roman to come back. But it's just like, how different are these characters? With the Uso brothers, with Solo, Paul Heyman, it was actually a difference in each character within the bloodline when that was happening. But this right here, it seems like they're all deranged. They're like two are deranged, they all come out. It just
I
what's the
think it's
difference?
intentional. I think it's intentional, and that they can keep that part with them being deranged, but they need to have different personality traits and ways about going about things. They just can't be reskins of the same character. They just can't.
Right.